Hi, it's Patrick Hutzel from intensivecareathome.com.au, where we provide tailor-made solutions for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies by improving their quality of life, and where we also provide tailor-made solutions to hospitals and intensive care units to save money and resources while providing quality care. In last week's blog, I asked the question, is it a good idea for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies to stay in intensive care for weeks or months? You can check out last week's blog by clicking on the link below this video. In this week's blog, I want to share that Intensive Care at Home achieved accreditation again and remains the first and only accredited and certified intensive home care service provider in Australia as of August 2015. Standards and certification in healthcare are extremely important. As most of you are aware, hospitals and intensive care units have to go through mandatory accreditation in order to maintain standards and quality, and also to attract funding, patients, and credibility. In order to bring standards and quality in this still relatively new world of intensive home care, in Australia anyway, for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies, Intensive Care at Home has now, for the second time since we first started our service, achieved accreditation. It shows that we are committed to quality, and it shows that we are committed to work with proven policies and procedures that keep our clients out of intensive care and in fact facilitate an earlier discharge from intensive care, creating win-win situations for patients, families, intensive care units and health funding agencies who can save up to $2,000 per bed day. And they can do so confidently, since we have proven that our system works and that long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies don't have to stay in ICU for many weeks and many months on end. You can find more information about our accreditation on our accreditation section on our website. It also shows that we are putting our money where our mouth is and that we live and breathe our mission and vision. So far, our clients have had 0 readmissions back to intensive care. Our concept and care model is based on successful models of intensive home care nursing for long-term ventilated patients with tracheostomies in Germany that I have personally worked with before starting this service here. The concept of intensive home care for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies has been around in Germany for nearly 20 years, and Australian intensive care units are still lagging 20 years behind when it comes to the care and treatment of long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies by keeping them in intensive care for way too long and by wasting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. Besides, long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies suffer tremendously by not having any quality of life in intensive care, and their families put their lives on hold while having their loved one in intensive care. We can therefore confidently say that Intensive Care at Home provides a genuine alternative to a long-term stay in intensive care for our clients. At this point in time, as of August 2015, Intensive Care at Home remains the first and only accredited intensive home care service and to provide intensive home care nursing for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies in Australia. The scope of our accreditation includes the delivery of intensive care nursing services at home, including services to ventilated patients. Again, you can find more information on our accreditation and quality section on our website. What are your thoughts? What would you like to see when it comes to standardizing home care for long-term ventilated adults and children with tracheostomies? What do you think is necessary to provide intensive home care services? Leave your comments on the blog below this video. We are also currently hiring enthusiastic and experienced intensive care nurses with critical care certificate for ventilated Melbourne clients close to the CBD. For more information, check out our career section or contact me on 041 094 2230 or send me an email to patrick@intensivecareathome.com.au. Thank you for tuning into this week's blog. This is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecareathome.com.au, and I'll see you again next week in another update.